Did Democrats lose their chance of getting a massive stimulus package through just before the election? Well, Khanna seems to think so. Congressman Khanna thinks that they screwed things up. We'll get to that in a minute, but first I want to tell you about this scam that's going on. We covered it in this morning's newsletter. If you didn't know about it, we should tell you about it right now. The IRS will not text you. They're not going to send you a text. So if you receive a fake text message from the IRS around the stimulus, please ignore it, delete it, but then most importantly, report it. So we've got an email address we're going to put up here on the screen. If you get an email or a text message that's claiming to be the IRS, I want you to report it to phishing, phishing at irs.gov. Now, here's what the scam is doing. Some people have reported getting text messages like this with a link that's promising $1,200 in stimulus checks. These are the types of scumbags that are out there trying to prey on people right now during a pandemic, taking advantage of them. So these links are phishing sites, okay? And they'll try to trick you into putting your personal information that they can use to steal from you and then impersonate you. There's a special place in hell for people like this, right? The IRS, by the way, does not communicate by text or email. So if you receive an email from the IRS, that is fake. If you receive a text message from the IRS, that's fake. Do not click on anything from these phishing sites. And again, if you receive one of these, report it to phishing at irs.gov. Take a screenshot of it, but don't click a link, okay? Just take a screenshot and send it to that email address. Okay, a little public service announcement there on these scumbags trying to take advantage of people. All right, now back to Congress. There are some fireworks going on this morning in Congress over this stimulus in the Democratic Party. There's a lot of finger pointing happening, right? Because the House of Representatives lost seats. They will still control power, the Democrats will, but they lost some seats. And they did not, by all accounts, win the Senate. So they did win the presidency, but this was not a blue wave. And there's been calls to have Nancy Pelosi step aside as leader as a result of this. Why? Well, one of the big issues was the stimulus. Could they have gotten that $1.8 trillion stimulus package through before the election? That was on the table. Now, let's be clear, it was on President Trump's table. It was not on Mitch McConnell's table. I think the true heathen, the true evildoer in all of this is Mitch McConnell. Make no mistake about it. But why not let him try, right? Pass a $1.8 trillion stimulus package in the House and then put it on Mitch McConnell's desk and make him the bad guy. Make him be the one that's going to vote it down in the Senate. But they never got that far because maybe Mitch would have called her bluff. I don't know. And that would have been a big win for Donald Trump. Anyway, Congressman Khanna, who had been pretty outspoken, telling Nancy Pelosi to take the deal before the election, is speaking out about it now. And he still says, take the deal. Listen to Khanna talk about this. This is pretty fascinating.
Before the election, you urged Speaker Pelosi to accept President Trump's offer.
You've done your homework.
On the COVID stimulus package. You said, quote, people in need can't wait until February. 1.8 trillion is significant. By the way, more than twice Obama.
By the way, you did your homework. I mean, that was like headlines all over the place. So if you're interviewing Khanna, what else do you have to talk to him about, quite honestly? That was the headline. That's why you're sitting down with him, because he was outspoken against Nancy Pelosi and it was all over every major newspaper. Sorry, just you've done your homework. My 4-year-old could have figured that one out.
I'm a stimulus. Pelosi shut you down. She said, quote, Khanna, that's nice. That isn't what we're going to do. Why do you think Pelosi refused to take that deal before the election?
My guess would be that she thought we would win the Senate and we would have a bigger majority in the House and that we would quickly be able to get everything we wanted. I think if she had known that we wouldn't win the Senate, maybe it would have been a different calculation.
So do you urge her to take the deal now, assuming
if we get 1.8 trillion?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we would definitely want to make the deal. It's going to be catastrophic if we don't.
So by your own, what you just said, what Pelosi decided to do was catastrophic. It had a catastrophic effect on people's lives.
First of all, it's not clear that McConnell would have allowed for.
Right. Oh, I see what you're doing here. It's catastrophic if we don't pass it. So by your account, it was catastrophic because we didn't pass it. Well, yeah, but Mitch McConnell.
That deal to go through, right? I mean, that was a part of the issue. But our failure, our collective failure to get that stimulus could prove to be a big mistake in American history.
But what you're saying is it was a collective failure. You actually blame your side as well.
It was a collective failure. I think that's what the voters said. I think there was a failure. I blame McConnell most for not even being part of the process. But I'm not one to sort of cast individual blame. I think
you just did.
Well, McConnell most, because that's factual.
That's factual. So I'm going to blame, it was catastrophic. There's a lot of blame. I'm not going to point fingers specifically at anyone but McConnell, which I will as well. No doubt about that. So where do things stand right now? Yesterday, President Biden-elect Biden was asked, has he talked yet to Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, either receiving congratulations or to advance any discussions on the stimulus. He told reporters yesterday that no, he did not speak to Mitch McConnell. He has not spoken to Mitch. He imagines that he will soon. The idea being that they would try to work together on pushing forward a stimulus package. Mitch McConnell has again repeated that he wants a stimulus package before the end of the year and that we need it. But again, it's a highly targeted package. And on his side right now, stimulus checks are not involved in this mix. So that the $1,200 stimulus checks are not involved in his calculations at this stage. What Nancy Pelosi still wants is roughly $2.2 trillion. And with stimulus checks, PPE, money for schools, state and local governments, and what the Senate wants right now is a lack of stimulus checks, but additional PPP program for small businesses. Of course, litigation protection from those businesses so that they can't, so workers don't have a chance to sue a business if the frontline worker, they get COVID working at a particular office, can't sue them. They can't demand better protections, I guess. It's just once again for Republicans, taking care of the worker. So, it's very clear, though, that the reason Pelosi didn't pass this $1.8 trillion stimulus or try to get it to the table, it wasn't the dollar amount. It was that it was going to help Trump. And it was a calculation. So she thought, okay, we might lose some House seats here, but we cannot lose the presidency. So it was a political calculation. She was playing politics with you. By not, let me again be clear that this never made it to the desk of Mitch McConnell. To my point is, why not make him the bad guy? Just pass the damn thing, get it on his desk, make him be the one that says we're not going to pass this, it's too large. Then Nancy, you've done your job. You don't lose House seats perhaps, you look like a champion of the people. And instead, you didn't even bring it to the floor for a vote because she kept making up reasons why it was being held up. The earned income tax credit for families, like that was her big thing. Come on, really? That's the whole reason to hold up a $1.8 trillion stimulus? I don't buy it. So she made a calculation that this would help President Trump, and therefore we should wait until after the election. Well, now we might be screwed on that larger package. Do you think she's going to get that 1.8 or even 2.2 at this point? Because Mitch McConnell is clearly looking at about a $650 billion. So Ro Khanna, he is basically saying, take the deal. Take whatever deal we can get because the American people are hurting right now. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Do you think Democrats should agree to a smaller $650 billion package from Republicans that does not include stimulus checks? Let me know in the chat below what you think.